Hey, and welcome to the Pod Cafe. I'm Nick Potts.
And I'm Emily Potts.
And we drink coffee and talk about the podcast we're listening to.
Yeah, I kind of lied on Twitter today because I was like, hey guys, we're doing big things. We're recording in the same room. And yeah, we're not. I lied.
Well, we were supposed to, but I had a call and it was late and then went super long. And yeah, then we had to drive, but next weekend we'll be in the same room.
Yeah, but I mean, at least we get to drink the same coffee, right?
True.
What kind of coffee are you drinking?
What'd you think about this? Oh, well, the same one as you. The Café du Monde. Café du Monde.
Café du Monde.
Drink Café du Monde. Du Monde. And it's the first, pot coffee I've had in a while. I've had a lot of K-cups or, bottled stuff from the store.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I like it a lot. The Café du Monde. It's very strong.
I really like coffee made from a coffee pot. I drink it at work every day, but I never have that for when we podcast because I don't have a coffee pot. So I feel like this is kind of a treat.
Yeah, I don't have a coffee pot either. Just the Keurig.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss for me with a coffee pot. A lot of the coffee I drink at work from a coffee pot is very cheap and it tastes gross. But not this one. This one's very good.
Yeah, this one, it kind of reminded me of some old 90s coffee in a can thing, the tin cans, because that's how it came out of, and it's good. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very good. I liked it a lot. And it's from an actual cafe, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. So it's called Café du Monde, which is a cafe in New Orleans, which is
I've never been.
Pretty cool. And they have really good beignets.
Vignettes.
Really tasty pastry things.
If you say so. I've never heard of a beignet.
You know what I think is good about this coffee, though? It's
What?
I like dark roast, and it's dark and not watery. It's a nice, heavy cup of coffee.
It is heavy. Heavy's a good word for it.
But I think in a good way, right?
Yeah. It's I don't know, bold. Mm-hmm. Is it bold? Yeah. It's not so smooth, but I kind of like it that way. Yeah, I had a ton of cups.
Yeah, me too.
Of this. So what do you rate it then?
I think I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because I don't know why not a 10, actually. As far as coffee goes, in from a pot, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why I chose 9 over 10 either, actually.
I think it's a placebo effect. I think if I got it from Café du Monde in New Orleans, it would be a 10.
Yeah, that's true. With a pastry, out of with a
beignet,
sitting on the river or something, isn't there?
With a John Benet. All right, pretty good. Well, I don't think our hosts of the podcast we did this week would much approve of going to a coffee shop and buying coffee. You know what? I don't know if that's true, actually. They're very into experiences.
They love experiences, and I think...
Yeah, maybe that experience would be cool for them. But this is the Minimalists Podcast, is the one we did this week. Mm-hmm. And the hosts are Ryan and Josh. Is that right?
I was going to say Adam.
No, it's definitely not Adam. I'm pretty confident it's Ryan and Josh.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus.
And they are the Minimalists. They have a podcast called the Minimalists Podcast, and they did a documentary on Netflix. They have a book called Everything That Remains.
Yeah, they have all of those things. The first time I heard about them was the Netflix documentary, because I watched that and it was pretty good, and then I saw they had a podcast, so that's where we're at. Haven't seen the book, haven't read it.
Yeah, me neither. I also have not seen the documentary.
It's pretty good.
So
I like it.
My only exposure is this podcast.
All right. So basically they talk about their minimalist lifestyles and how it relates to different things in life. How was that?
Yeah.
That was good, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. They talk about minimalism, and if I'm going to be honest, I still don't know what minimalism is. I came into it with the thought that minimalism is just not owning almost anything, and I don't know, owning only what you need, and living a very, very minimal lifestyle. But from listening to their episodes, that's not how it is. Like, minimalism to me was kind of like the van life, living out of a van, and I don't know, having almost nothing. But it sounds like that's not necessarily what it is.
Yeah, so I think I got that out of the documentary on Netflix. Like, it was kind of just a lot about like purging and getting rid of like unnecessary things that are just like clutter. But I definitely hear it less in the podcast. It's more, I feel like they're trying to talk more about like almost just like what's the word? Like being really efficient with everything, or like basically like fully optimizing everything you do, you know? I feel like they're just like not about waste. Like, don't waste time, don't waste money, right?
That's definitely true. It's just really interesting to me because it's like at least one of them I know has like a house and a car. I think they both do. One of them has Netflix. Mm-hmm. So it's like they have things, but so their thing is you don't have to get rid of everything. If it brings value or adds value to your life, then you can have it. You can own it. If it doesn't, then you shouldn't. But to me, that's like so subjective. Like, how do you decide? It's not the same for everyone. Like, maybe private jets bring crazy value to someone's life.
Well,
I don't know.
Isn't that okay then? Like,
I guess so. Then what's minimalism? To me, it's just like, because their big thing is, you shouldn't be in debt. You shouldn't be owned by your possessions. You should own them. So to me, minimalism is just like not being financially irresponsible. So
okay.
Do we really need a word for that?
Yeah, because when you add words to things, you can like be really trendy with them and like make social media about them, and
Yeah, I guess. Like, I'm not I don't disagree with most of what they're saying. Most of what they're saying I'm on board with.
Yeah.
I'm just a little confused on the concept is all.
Okay. I don't know if I can clarify the concept at all for you, but maybe we should just like jump in and maybe somehow we'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's jump in. Okay.
Let's start with the intro and the music.
Okay. I actually like the intro. I'm pretty confident they wrote their own intro music.
They did. Actually, some guy wrote it, because I listened to like their very first episode and then listened to some later ones, and they like heard that song. Or actually, no, maybe they didn't write it for this. I think someone heard the song, and one of them heard the song and really liked it, so then they used it for the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did listen to like a lot. One of their shows was a live show.
Yeah.
And they had somebody like open for them, like play music before they came on. So maybe it's the same guy.
Oh yeah, it could be. I think they said it was like a friend. So. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the song is very much to the point. It's very on brand for them. Our typical beef, no ads. In fact, they make a big stink about it. They say ads are
stupid.
What do they say? Stupid?
Or ads suck or something.
They don't have ads. They do the Patreon thing.
Yeah. I was gonna guess that you really liked that part of it. Like,
I like
no
that
ads.
There's no ads. Yeah, I'm into the no ads thing. There's nothing for me to skip. But I like the intro. So it's probably like a 9 for me.
Nice. I like the intro too. Although I don't feel like it's a 9 for me. I don't like it that much. I think it's an 8 for me.
Okay.
I think it's not like enticing enough to me. Like the song's fine and everything, but I don't think it really draws me in enough because I don't really remember much about the intro, so I clearly don't love it. But yeah,
you don't get psyched up for the podcast when you hear the music.
I don't think so. It's just not for me. So I'm gonna go with 8 though, because it's short.
Okay.
We move on. I like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Well, that was kind of easy and boring, but whatever.
A little bit.
But we can talk about the content, and that could be more fun.
Yeah, we started to go into it a little bit. It is about minimalism. Again, not entirely sure what it is, but so they talk about a bunch of different stuff. There's episodes on well, first they offer a lot of advice on living a minimalistic lifestyle, but they talk about it in association with a bunch of different topics. There's one on clutter. There's stuff on relationships and sex and anxiety and anything that goes into being alive, really.
Yep. They apply their minimalism ways to answer people's questions that are around those topics.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Often in what I find to be somewhat forced philosophies. They make a joke out of it and call them pithy answers, which is exactly what they are.
The pithy answers thing, it's I think I hate it.
Yeah, it's a little much for me.
It's just I don't know why. So here's what I feel like. Every time they say something, I feel like they're trying to turn it into an inspirational quote on a wall.
Yes. That's what it sounds like. And maybe I think they're a little bit doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I think they definitely are. I
don't know if they're doing it to be funny or not. I'm just I don't know. Not into it that much.
Let's try one. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question and then you give me a pithy answer.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if I should order out for dinner tonight or make something at home. What should I do? How should I decide that?
Well,
this isn't going well for you.
Yeah. Well, they don't often do it. Oh man, I just redlined. They don't often do it on the spot. They talk about the answer a little bit sometimes and come around to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
let's talk about it a little and come around to it.
I think ordering out is cheapening your experience of eating. You can have quite the experience out of cooking your own meal. Mm-hmm. And why pay more for a cheap experience?
Oh,
that?
Good.
That was pretty good.
Yep, I'm putting that on a wall.
You will pay more. Yeah, you will pay more to order out.
I will. Okay, all right, that was good practice.
That was great. I could be on their podcast.
You could provide them with pithy answers.
Yeah.
And then this is what they do. So you gave me that pithy answer, and then we all go like this. Oh. And we're mesmerized by the wisdom you just dropped.
Good. Yeah, that was good.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's part of their content. A lot of their content really comes back to, I don't know, I guess it's just the principles of minimalism. I don't know, it comes back to they talk about packing parties a lot, which is you pack up your house or even just a room like you're moving, and then you unpack only the things you need, and they kind of have a party doing that. So they talk about those a lot. They talk about, I don't know, they talk about just like finding the experience of everything and the meaning in everything, and the thing they say at the end of every episode is shoot. Come back to me.
Okay. Well, so you're talking about the packing party, which I think is really funny because, so, I'm getting ready to move. So, like, I'm actively avoiding packing because none of that feels like a party to me.
Right.
But them talking about that is, like, so stressful to me. I'm like, really? I'm going to get boxes, put everything away, and then put it all back? Like, this sounds exhausting. It sounds stressful. It sounds like it's going to frustrate me.
That's something I didn't think about, but, like, that's a lot of time.
So much time.
I suppose, like, the point is it's supposed to be in place of... Well, that's why it's a party, right? Because you invite people over and you, like, drink and make a party out of it. Mm-hmm. So, that'd be in place of, like, going out to the bar, or like I don't know, what else do people do for fun?
Yoga classes.
Yeah, maybe
walks with your friend.
Skip a yoga class. Okay. Right. So I don't know, maybe time isn't necessarily like a huge issue. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what they say at the end.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? Yeah, I feel like time isn't their thing, but it's more like, I feel like it's a really aggressive way to get to the end goal of, like, kind of minimizing,
Well, that's...
Like, can't you just, like, sit down and go through your stuff?
Love people and use things, because the opposite never works.
You got it?
There you go. Did you get it? Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it.
The thing they say at the end is, love people and use things.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the opposite never works.
I kind of like that. That's a pithy thing.
It is. That's a great pithy answer. It's a great saying.
Yeah, I like it.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't disagree with anything they say. I suppose I'm confused on why the movement exists. If it's not about owning as little as possible, and I'm confused on what it's about, I suppose.
I feel like it's like about not being like a gluttonous person in every aspect of your life,
Yep, okay, I'm with that.
Like, basically just talking about, like, where people overdo it and don't need to. Like, Like, they were talking about... I was listening to all of the ones on, like, moving were pretty interesting to me because, obviously, because I'm moving. And they were talking about how, like, an average household in the U.S. has, like, 300,000 things in it.
That's insane. That's an insane number. Is that the real number?
That's what they said, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
300,000.
Like, I don't have 300,000 things in my apartment, but maybe in, like, a house... Like,
yeah,
dang.
Like an actual house.
Yeah. It's a lot of things.
I guess it might. Yeah, that's a good point. It's probably about over possessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with that. I get that.
Yeah. So what would you give the content knowing we like it but are confused?
Well, do you actually like... Are you interested in the content of the podcast? If you were a minimalist, would you enjoy the content? Do you think if you're a minimalist trying to be a better minimalist, is this a good place to go for your...
I think so. I mean, it seems like it, because you know how they have, like, people call in with questions?
Yeah, they seem to be the authority on minimalism.
Well, they are. They're like the minimalists,
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of big names on their podcast when they have guests.
Yeah. Content, I like the content. I don't know if I'm drawn to it because I'm not like seeking minimalism everywhere.
Sure.
But I do like some of their topics. Like, I like hearing their like different way of thinking, you know? Like, I like the new perspective.
Yeah. I think just as far as minimalism content goes, I'm gonna give it a 9. I was gonna give it a 10 and just changed it the last second, just because I feel like they could maybe vary it a little bit. A lot of times I felt like no matter what episode I was listening to, it always came back to the same words of wisdom and the same advice. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like I'd need to listen to the podcast constantly, just a few episodes.
Yeah.
But it's good minimalism content, so I'll give it a 9.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 9 too, because I agree. It was like, I like the topics, I like what they're saying, but some of it I was just like, I feel like we just did that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about entertainment value of it.
Oh, that's the next one? Good, okay.
Yep.
Well, because I wanted to talk about it in the content, but I decided this would be better.
Okay, let's hear it.
We kind of touched on it already. My entertainment value is going to be kind of low. Mm-hmm. I think probably a 6.
Dang.
Not because I don't like it. It's more because even though I agree with most of what they're saying, I think I'm just not into the minimalism lifestyle. I don't really necessarily know that you need minimalism to get to the same headspace they're in. So I think like I just feel like we're kind of in the same mindset, just taking different methods to get there. So I'm just like not using the minimalism method lane.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's why I probably won't come back and listen to it again, just because I'm not looking to get involved in minimalism.
That's fair. Minimalism. I think I'm gonna give it like a 7. Here's why. So, okay. I kind of like listening to it. Like, the topics are good. And like I kind of am into the minimalism idea somewhat. I think more so right now just because I'm moving and I'm like, I wish I had fewer things. But I do think, like, there's 2 things that kind of bother me. One, it's like a little bit boring. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
It's not.
They don't.
The podcast is not entertaining necessarily unless you're super interested in that lifestyle.
Yeah, because they're just kind of like they're kind of serious, and I don't know. It's just like I want to laugh a little bit more. I'm not really laughing. I feel like I should be taking notes. My other thing is, I feel like they don't like own it that much because they're like, here's our advice, here's our pithy answer, but also like do what works for you. You know? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, I feel like if you guys are gonna be like, this is how you should do it, like be the minimalist. Be like, this is how you should do it, you know?
Okay.
Own it.
All right.
7.
7.
I might not listen again though. I just like, I liked the Netflix documentary, but I think the podcast version of it is a little dull for me.
I may actually watch the documentary still.
Yeah, you should do it. It's good.
Yeah. It's probably very entertaining for somebody who is a minimalist, though.
Yeah.
Being on the outside, it just isn't for me, probably.
The outside. You're such an outsider.
The outside. I'm on the outside looking in. What song is that? I don't remember. Anyway, what's next? Structure?
I've never heard that song in my life. Yes, Structure is next.
Okay. This is actually really interesting to me because it's almost entirely Q&A.
Yeah.
They don't really riff on their own. They almost always go directly into playing voicemail questions and just answering those questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you like that or no?
Not really. And here's why. I'm doing a lot of this today. Here's my answer,
Okay.
and here's why. Because sometimes I think the questions are stupid, and they don't, like, clip them where I think they should clip them. It's like, don't let the person keep rambling. Just cut them off, and we have the ability to do so, you know? Mm-hmm. And I also feel like then they're just, like, that's maybe why their answers are so similar, because, like, they're just trying to respond based on, like, their minimalist concepts, you know? Like, you're not getting, like, raw, like, natural thoughts from them.
Okay. All right.
Do you like
I
the
hear ya.
interviews?
I wish there would be a little more of that. I actually think I do kind of like the mostly Q&A thing.
Oh, yeah, Q&A, not interview.
Yeah, not interviews. Yeah. I kind of like it because it depends on what you're trying to do with the podcast. If you're trying to just be helpful and trying to educate people, to me it makes sense to just answer questions because I feel like you could take a couple episodes, let's call it 5 or 10, and get your word out there and put your philosophies out there. And then from then on, it's like individualized. So how can we help people with their specific problems or specific, like, I don't know, difficulties they're having? So that's kind of interesting that they're really, what they're kind of doing is building a community, and then they're helping their community because this kind of feeds into your not acting like the authority, because at the end of most episodes, they play tips that listeners have. Instead of giving their own tips, they have people give their tips.
Yep.
Which is, that part I don't know how much I like, but I do like the fact that they're trying to use this podcast not just to, like, provide knowledge, but to build an actual community. So that's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. That's
but
true.
I am kind of into the Q&A thing.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that. Like, that makes more sense to me when you call it a community versus, like, them just out there dropping knowledge.
I think it is. I think it's like the vegan community or the minimalist community. I think they are like a group. They're a community.
Yeah, that's true.
So as far as rating, I'll give it an 8 probably. I do think there's things they can improve on, but for the most part, I like it.
I think I'm going to give it a 7. I also sometimes, like, they talk a lot, which I like, obviously, because you want to, like, hear from them. But sometimes I forget the question while they're talking. But I do like that when they're, like, giving an answer, they, like, go back to the person's name. You know? You ever notice how they do that?
Yep.
And then they're like, yeah, so Mary, that's what we think.
Yeah, just out of nowhere after 10 minutes of ranting.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot that Mary even asked us that. But, okay.
I think those are the moments where you do get more of their own raw kind of info. Like, that's where they'll drop specific examples from their own life of similar issues. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they do a pretty solid job.
Yeah. I liked the one about breakups.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys, like, went through a divorce, and he was talking about, I don't know, their perspective on breakups was, like, so mature that I was like, wow, I wonder if I can be like that one day. Because they were like, you know, sometimes when a relationship ends and you break up, you should just thank the person, you know? Like, thank them for, you know, doing this with you, growing and changing with you, and then, you know, it didn't work out, but thank them for being there. And I was like, wow, I've never met someone that did that. Like, all right, we're gonna break
I would love to get to a point in my life where it's like that, but
I know, that's why I thought
to
it was
me,
awesome.
it also
I was like-
depends. It also depends on how it ends.
yeah.
Like, if that person cheats on you, I'm gonna have a hard time thanking them, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I just really enjoyed that. I was like, wow, such adult goals for one day.
Yeah, it's pretty pretty neat, I guess.
I thought it was funny. I was just like, really? You're out there like thanking people? That's amazing.
This is what I'm trying to figure out about them is, are they like the extreme vegans where they think this is the best and only way to live and they're trying to convert everyone? Or are they just like, this is a pretty good way to do it. This is how we do it. There's other ways to do it, but we like it doing it this way.
I
Or
think
are
they're
they like
the
trying to
second
make
one.
everybody? Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I get too, which is cool. I like that better.
Yeah, that's that's why I think it's like, that's why I say they don't own it, because I don't feel like they're forcing it on me at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like they are just like, hey, we tried this lifestyle and it kind of worked, and here's all the places that we use it in our life. Maybe you should try it, see if it works. Let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're, being forceful about it.
Yeah. Did you listen to any of the ones where they talk about like their diet and stuff?
I did. There was one where I heard a little bit about it. I heard, actually, I think we listened to that one together. The one guy, I forget who is who, but one of them is on the carnivore diet right now. I think before that he was vegan or vegetarian or something, and then he was pescatarian. But now he's doing the carnivore thing and really likes it.
Well, and one of them had to do like a major overhaul of like life changes because he found out that he was like pre-diabetic.
From poor diet.
I don't know, because he seemed like he didn't really have a poor diet, and they're both like in pretty good shape. Seems like one of them though, I really wish I had figured out before we did this which one was which. But one of them was talking about how for a while he was like the fattest kid in school. So
Yeah.
that was kind of funny.
Yeah, one
But
of them did lose a ton of weight.
yeah, I did like the diet ones because I feel like they were just like, that one was like very much they were just talking about their experience and not really like trying to tell you anything. They were like so set on like, we are not experts in this, like that.
So were they talking about diets, or were they talking about how to live on a specific diet while being a minimalist?
They were talking about like their diets and like basically how they have fit it into their life, you know? So like,
Okay.
like the guy that was pre-diabetic, like talking about just like how he had to change his diet into like a minimalist thinking of like, have less of this, not none of this, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting because I feel like they like kind of own that, like they think about everything as like a way to do it in a minimalist way, but by no means are they an expert on everything. Maybe that's why they build
Right.
like a community rather than like, this is what you should do, guys, do it.
Yeah. I like, I don't know. I like when anyone talks about diets, because I like to hear what's working for people,
Yeah.
especially, and how their lifestyles differ.
We should talk about the production.
We should.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I think I have no complaints here. Transitions are pretty minimal, non-existent really. They kind of just cut. But I don't know. It's pretty seamless. The transition from the intro music into the podcast is fine. I don't want to hate on. I actually am not going to. I think the quality of the voice messages are really good considering they are voicemails from a phone that
Yeah.
they're adding in.
I
So
like
they're-
that they do that in general. Like that they give a phone
It's
number and
pretty
you can just
cool.
call them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you can, as a fan, hear your own voice on their podcast. That's neat.
Yeah.
Instead of just hearing your name.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no qualms with any of the production. I think, I guess just a 10 for me.
I think so too. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Dang, we gave this thing some high scores. We're right around the same. Mine's a 8.2 average. Yours is an 8.4.
Yeah, I think overall I'd give it about an 8.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad, which is actually a little surprising. I thought I was going to end up rating it lower.
Yeah, I think, like, I like their podcast. It's just, like, not something I would listen to all the time. But overall, it's, like, good. And I liked the episodes that I did listen to.
Yeah, I'm in the same place. As a podcast, it's solid. It's good. I'm just, like, not into the content, but that's not really relevant, I guess, for rating and reviewing it.
Yeah. Should we do some more pithy advice? Let's see. I was just trying to search.
I guess.
Yeah, I was just trying to find something. Like, maybe go a little bit like the Kelly Clarkson route. And, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Kelly Clarkson? What?
Yeah. And that's her song. Doesn't kill
Oh.
you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. No? Okay.
I'm very confused on the relevance right now.
I was just trying to think of a pithy response for things.
Oh.
I want to, like, make a bunch of phrases to put on a wall. I was trying to Google them, and I couldn't find one I liked, so I thought of Kelly Clarkson, and here we
Do you have
are.
do you have any favorites that they had? They even keep track of them. They have
I know, they have a
section
book
on
or
their
something.
website called, like, Min Maxims or something.
Yeah. I don't know if I had a favorite one. Did you?
I'm gonna be honest, I just can't even remember any of them.
Hold on a second. My food might be here. Hello? I gotta go see if my delivery's here. Keep talking.
Oh, okay. Emily's food is here. I believe she ordered some sort of Chinese food because her appetizer is spring rolls, but I can't be sure. I actually think maybe this might be a pretty good time to call it. I mean, it seems pretty fitting. Oh, here we go. Here's some. Let me read some. I'll do this. I'll read some pithy min maxims while she's gone. Here's some. Our memories are not in our things. Our memories are in us. It's a decent one. Minimalism is not about deprivation. Okay, this might help me understand the concept more. Minimalism is not about deprivation. Minimalism is about aligning your short-term actions with your long-term values. That's interesting. Doesn't much help me. Here's another one that might be relevant. Black coffee is a synecdoche.
That's weird.
Synecdoche? Black coffee is a synecdoche for life. When you eliminate excess, what remains is exponentially more delicious, enjoyable, and worthwhile.
Wow.
That seems subjective to me. Some people do not find black coffee more delicious and enjoyable than coffee with cream and sugar or honey and milk in it.
Oh, I love honey.
Yeah. So I started to say, I was just, as you were gone, reading some min maxims.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be fitting to maybe just call the episode here. It would end up being our shortest episode. And as minimalists, new minimalists,
Oh, love
maybe
it.
we should declutter our episode and just,
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. And then you can eat your food.
I'm really pumped about it. And
Yeah.
even though
was it Chinese food?
it's Thai food. So despite the
food.
fact that you told me to not order out, I already ordered out before I asked you that question.
Well,
Here's why,
I
though.
hope you,
It's all about the
okay, yeah, let me
experience.
know.
And I don't totally love the experience of cooking for one and cleaning up. And it's too much for a Sunday night.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. Convenience is important sometimes, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The end.
I was trying to find a good min-maxim to fit your situation.
Oh, did you find one?
I'm struggling.
Can you search them? No.
I'm just scrolling through them. Nope, that one's not great. How about consumption isn't the problem? Compulsory consumption is the problem.
Ah.
So maybe, you're just being compulsive, and that's the problem.
Oh, so maybe it is a problem?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, why don't you tell us where you can listen to both us and the Minimalists?
I would love to do that. You can listen to the Minimalists, same place you can find us. So on iTunes and Spotify and Google Play and Stitcher, and you can find us on Libsyn as well. And you can tweet at us or email us at _podcafe or podcafe.contact@gmail.com. And next week, we're going to do a stories podcast. Are you pumped about that?
Is that our next category?
That's our next category.
Yeah, they're my favorites, so I am pretty pumped about it.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and we have to make Abby listen to it.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a guest.
A guest.
Okay. Minimalist. Bye.
Well, enjoy your café du monde and Thai food.
Thank you.
It's a mix of cultures there.
Actually, this is kind of weird because, we recorded this later on a Sunday versus usually we're having Sunday morning coffee and doing this. We're confusing people.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, that's bad. All right, we'll get them next week. Stop.